Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 10. Module 10 is the next poem assignment. You'll be working on what's called a sound poem. So a poem that focuses on some of those techniques that we know about poetry having to do with the wording itself. So the use of sound, rhythm, rhyme, that kind of thing. So this is the type of poem where it's going to sound nice to read out loud, just as much as it is to read on the page. So let me show you what's going on here. You can see that your main assignment is to actually complete the sound poem. So I'll get to that in a minute, but you also have a sound and rhythm discussion board to complete as well. So it's just getting more practice with sound and rhythm, particularly as it relates to songs. So this discussion board is going to ask you to pick at least 2 of your favorite songs and post about them. So you're just going to post the song itself. You want to tell us, artist, song title, year it was written, and then a link to the lyrics, and then a link to the YouTube video. So I picked Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, was one of my favorites. And so what I'll do is, like, AZ Lyrics is a good website to use. It usually has some pretty accurate versions of the lyrics. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down here when I start my post. And I'm going to include, Queen, and then Bohemian Rhapsody. I can't spell. And then I want to include a link to the lyrics. So I'll just copy and paste that URL there for the lyrics. And then I want to include the YouTube video. Now, to embed a YouTube video, you can do it a couple of ways. You can copy and paste the URL, or you can go over here to where it says share, and it will give you the embed code, which is kind of nice. That's how I do all the videos in this class, and it just makes it easier to access, I think. So you copy and paste that, and then if you go to your more tools, then you have that embed option, and you can just embed that video, and it just makes it a nice size for people to see. And then you've got the lyrics and then the video, and I actually have no idea when the song itself came out. Looks like 1975 maybe. So I'll include the year that it was published as well, and then we'll just put that on the discussion board. So that's my first post. And so what you're going to do is you'll do at least 2 of those, and then in your response posts you're going to be looking for the use of poetic technique in the lyrics. So you can listen to the song, you can read the lyrics, it's kind of up to you. Sometimes listening to it can kind of help you to really identify what you see. But you'll also notice, and this is something interesting that I've noticed, is when you're reading lyrics, you'll often see rhyming words that you don't hear when they sing the song because of the way that they combine lines together or the way that they sing the lines. There's actually more rhythm and rhyme that you can see than hear. And so I think that's kind of interesting. But you'll just go through and see, okay, where are some of the, rhyming type lines? What do you see the line length? Are they long and short? Are there sections that go together? Are there repetitious words or sounds? That kind of thing. And so what do you see them doing with it? Now, if you're having trouble with this, because sometimes it can be difficult to identify the use of sound and rhythm just by looking at a poem, especially if it's the first time you've seen it, or a song lyrics, you can use AI if you want to, just to help you generate ideas. So I would go into your chat GPT or whatever and ask it to analyze the use of sound and rhythm and then include the song, and then use some of those ideas if you want, but make sure that you're labeling anything that you come up with using an AI program. The majority of the writing does need to be your own, and I'm expecting it to be your ideas, especially at first. And then then if you need to go and use AI to help you a little bit, that's fine. But I don't want you just going in and copying and pasting some AI response and call it good. So if you need it to assist you, that's fine. But definitely make sure that you are doing your own writing there. And so then your response is really just that analysis of the use of sound and rhythm in those songs. So just something kind of interesting to see. And again, there's no wrong answers to that kind of thing. So I'm not going to be grading you on whether or not you can identify specific sounds being used or whatever. I'm just curious to see what you think. So then the poem assignment itself is to write a song that has a rhythm or musicality to it. So this is the type of poem where if we read it out loud, it's going to sound good too. So there's some examples here. There's some different ideas that you might try if you are working on a poem that you're not quite sure what type of topic to use. There's a lot of different topics that you could use. And so these are just some examples. And then you can think about rhyming. You don't want to force a rhyme, but rhyming is something that will help us with that musicality. So if you want to write a song, you absolutely can do that. Songs and poems are very similar, but obviously a little bit different because the music added to it changes how we hear the words. So if you're intending it to be sung, that's fine. But you would just want to keep in mind that there may be some alterations to the wording just for how they sound if you were to try to sing it. So try to show rather than tell, use your senses, using those literary devices. We're really focusing on those literary devices that help us to hear different things. So thinking about how words go together if we're trying to create some nice sounds versus some negative sounds, that kind of thing. So if you have a topic that's really negative, how can we create some chopped up wording there so that it just sounds negative? Work on the line breaks. You can create a free verse poem if you want, or you can use a rhyme scheme. It's up to you, but make sure that you are using those and be consistent. So consistently either with a rhyme scheme or not. A lot of times the students are kind of in the middle. They might use a rhyme scheme where every other line rhymes, so you don't feel like you have to force the rhyme in there, and that might help a little bit. And then of course make sure that you're reading it out loud so that you can hear what it sounds like, because that's a lot of the poem, is just making sure that it sounds good, that you're using all of that correctly. So that's the assignment itself that you'll be working on in this module, and the readings will help you, and there's lots of examples in the readings as well. So if you have questions as you start to write this poem, be sure to let me know. Otherwise, have a great week.